Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We're ready to begin this evening's board meeting. The school board meeting of June 27th, 2017 is now called to order. The time is 6:02 p.m. At this time, we request that all electronic devices be turned off or be put into the silent mode. Also, that we ask that you please refrain from using flash photography. We would like to take this opportunity to remind the members of the public of the district's mission, which is to ensure that each student achieves his or her highest personal potential, and also of the district's vision to be a world-class school system. This evening's agenda includes the invocation, the Pledge of Allegiance, public comment, consent action items, which include 2 items under executive services, 20 items under academic services, 9 under business services, 3 items under human resources, and 2 items under information systems. Also, 8 items under operations and 9 superintendent's recommendations. We also have 1 attorney's recommendation, as well as 3 items for public hearing, and 4 items under other business. That's quite an agenda. Board members, is there a motion to adopt the agenda?
So moved.
Moved by Mrs. LaRiviere and seconded by Mr. Teuber. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion carries 7-0. This evening, Mrs. LaRiviere will deliver the invocation, after which Dr. Kuckel will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Please rise now for the invocation.
Dear Lord, I thank you so much for the community we have within Lee County, for the members that are actively involved in our schools, and all that we see happening in support of our students and our staff within the district. Lord, I pray that you would guide this meeting, provide wisdom, clarity of mind as we go about our business. And Lord, I ask that you be with district family members in recent instances of those who have passed and those who have developed some serious illnesses. Pray for all of our staff as they work through these processes and the adjustments that need to be made. Guide our meeting. Guide our school administrators this summer as they are working together to plan for the upcoming year and with our hires. And may our staff members find time of refreshing so they are able to come back prepared and eager to guide our students to become all that they can be and reach their highest potential. Amen.
Amen.
Please join me in the pledge.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You may be seated. The next item on the agenda this evening is public comment. Mr. Martin, will you please address the agenda item of public comment?
School board policy provides the opportunity at this point in the meeting to address the board concerning any matter on this meeting's agenda or any other matter relevant to the operation of the school district. If you completed a card and submitted that to me before the meeting began, you'll be called in the order of the card submitted. If you did not submit a card but still wish to address the school board this evening, the school board chair, Ms. Fisher, will give you an opportunity in a moment to express that desire. The rules concerning public comment to the school board are posted at the back of the room. The board does not respond during public comment time to remarks made by speakers. At the conclusion of public comment time, the school board chair may address concerns raised by speakers or may assign responsibility to the superintendent to do so. Speakers are expected to act in a respectful manner. Those who fail to do so after being warned by the meeting chair may be required to leave the meeting. Disruptive attacks on individuals are prohibited. Ms. Fisher, I have 20 cards this evening.
Thank you, Mr. Martin. Is there anyone on the right side of the auditorium who has not filled out a card and wishes to speak? Anyone on the left side? 20 cards, then 3 minutes.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, will you please call the first card?
First speaker is Scott Guttery.
Thanks for the opportunity to speak today. Written down a few things that I think will help me keep this timely. As most of you know, I was accused of an excessively hard foul committed during an open gym basketball scrimmage between coaches and students at Fort Myers High School on May 4th. This accusation was first brought to my attention on May 5th when I was contacted by the school district's Andy Brown and told that I was suspended from my teaching job until the matter could be investigated. The following week, the Lee County Sheriff's Office opened an investigation into the matter. It's still unknown to me why our Sheriff's Department would investigate a foul in a pickup basketball game. However, after a thorough investigation, they concluded, and I quote, "There was no evidence whatsoever of any kind of crime having been committed. This case is closed as unfounded." After receiving the Sheriff's investigative report, the Lee County School District completed no further interviews, witness statements, or investigation whatsoever on their own. They didn't even bother to watch the entire footage of the open gym in question, only the 4-second snippet highlighted by the accusing student's attorney. On Thursday, June 8th, 34 days after I was suspended by the school district, I was called in for a predetermination meeting. During this meeting, I met with Rob Dodig and Michelle Freeman. During the meeting, I was treated as someone who was guilty of a crime and asked what I had to say to defend myself. I informed them that I had done nothing wrong and there was no need to defend myself, but I would answer any questions that they had for me. The meeting ended rather abruptly, and I was told that I would be informed in a week or so of the determination. There have been many disturbing things that I have discovered about our district and the policies in place pertaining to employees and accusations of misconduct. Our district is in the habit of listening to disgruntled parents and lawyer accusations and reacting to those accusations before speaking with their employee or their employee's direct supervisors. In this particular case, our district reacted to a phone call from a litigation attorney and the false accusation of parents with a history of problematic behaviors within the school system. I've had several current and former teachers from Lee County reach out to me to tell me that they went through similar cases with our school district. Cases where a disgruntled parent makes a false accusation. Our school district suspends and/or investigates the accused teacher. The teacher is not spoken to about the accusation until a case has been made, and then they are treated coldly, if not harshly, in a meeting in which they are told they did nothing wrong, or they're given a letter of reprimand for their file. I've worked for the school district for 14 years. I chose to work here because I have a lifelong mission to improve the education of our youth within Lee County. Lee County is among the lowest paid counties in the state of Florida for teachers. It is the lowest paid county in the state for coaches. Teacher retention in this county is at one of its lowest points. Taxpayer dollars are being spent on recruiting new teachers and attracting and keeping quality educators in Lee County. While raising salaries and putting in performance incentives are all fine and dandy, I guarantee you that feeling valued and respected is much higher on an educator's wish list. I, like all of my colleagues, choose to serve the school district because we have a passion for this town and the children that live here. So it's extremely disheartening to be treated as I have throughout this process.
Thank you, Mr. Gutter. Your time's up, sir. Thank you, sir. Due to the large number of speakers, I'm going to call speakers in groups of 5. The first time I call your name, please come to the podium. The second time I call your name, you can begin your remarks. So speakers 2 through 5. Mr. Gutter, if you'd please have a seat.
May I request to
Would you
read the
please
last
have a seat,
paragraph?
sir?
Okay.
Speakers 2 through 5 are Courtney Butts, Stephen Brooks, Oscar David Honor, and Donna Jones. Ms. Butts.
Good evening. My name is Courtney Butts. I attended Fort Myers High School in the 90s and have been proudly teaching there for 14 years now, while also coaching, sponsoring, and creating various programs. That is why I stand before you this evening. I am here on behalf of my colleague and friend, Scott Guttery, but more importantly, I am here to ask that changes be made so that no teacher or coach has to deal with something like this ever again. We are not solely offended by the way this situation was handled. We are petrified. The reality is we live in a society where the expectations of teachers have reached an all-time high, but the respect, admiration, and trust in our teachers has sadly reached an all-time low. We are the people at ground zero, working hard every single day to ensure that every child has the potential to reach their goals. Yet we are also the people who are first to be scrutinized and ostracized by the public, the media, and unfortunately our own employer when any negative situation occurs on school grounds. We don't feel supported, and every single time a parent or a child points a finger, more often than not, our side isn't even heard until we have already been slandered and find ourselves on the defense. We are guilty until proven innocent, and by the time the hush dies down, we are the ones left standing alone, picking up the pieces of our shattered reputations, trying to carry on with our lives, and sometimes even seeking new employment. Every year, this district spends millions of dollars on retention campaigns and recruitment fairs when the answer for the dwindling number is simple: support the teachers you currently employ. Scott Guttery should not only be reinstated, but exonerated completely and apologized to formally for the torment he has had to endure. If this district doesn't start standing up for those who work for it, the teachers who we need to keep will continue to leave. Because regardless of our love for our careers and for our students, without any sense of security, there's really no reason to stay. Thank you for your time.
Stephen Brooks.
My name is Stephen Brooks. I do not know the student or the family that is at the center of all this, but I do know Scott Guttery. I've been able to call him a friend for 20 years, more than 20 years. And in that time, I have never known him to be anything other than a man of high integrity, principle, respect, and compassion. We are here today for what I will call a frivolous, meritless money grab. And that's unfortunate because a good man, a good member of our community is having his reputation, his personal and professional reputation tarnished. Our teachers deserve to be protected. Our community members deserve to be protected. Reinstating Scott, that was the right thing to do. The next right thing is to completely exonerate him with no further disciplinary action. You can stop this right now. Thank you.
Mr. Honor.
Thank you for allowing me to speak today. It's Honore, sorry. My name is Oscar David Honore. I am a former student of Coach Scott Guttery. There's not a lot of teachers that I can say had a big influence on me going to Fort Myers High School. The first day I walked into Coach Guttery's class, C232. And he walks up and he says, "Good morning, class," and he introduces himself and he says, there's things that are important to me. And he says, it's God and his family. And from there, I knew that this teacher could be someone that would influence me in everything that I did. Every time that I came to his class, I wanted to make sure that I was performing at my best. Fast forward 5 years later, I graduated high school, and every single year I go to his camp, not because I felt like I wanted to be back in high school, but because I knew that I could make a difference to someone else just like he made a difference in my life. And this was something that I saw on social media, and I was horrified because I saw that I thought it couldn't be Coach Guttery, not Coach Guttery, because he is such a fun, loving, caring person. He would sacrifice everything for his students, for his family. And it was the worst thing that I could see, and I did not like it. I did like the fact that he was reinstated, but just like our friend said, he's hurt. He's very hurt at the fact that this tarnished his entire reputation. And the reputation, and you can see everyone's in green. Everybody, look, everyone here is here to support this great coach. And if you not help this great man, students like me won't be here. I mean, I wouldn't. I would probably be in a jail somewhere. But because I listened to him, I took his advice, and I walked in the path that he put for me on that first day, I was able to stand here today. Thank you.
Speakers 6 through 10 are Lynn Podorf, Fred Richards, Lauren Trasick, Jonathan Heck and Julian Heck. Ms. Jones.
My name is Donna Jones, and I'm a retired English teacher from Fort Myers High School. I had the opportunity to work closely with Scott Guttery when he was working on his National Board certification as a business teacher. As his mentor for this almost year-long process, I observed Scott's dedication in achieving academic excellence in his field, and I became keenly aware of his relationships and commitments to his students, school, and community. A testament to Scott Guttery's commitment occurred early in 2012. Kip Yoon, a foreign exchange student from South Korea, was in my English class, and he desperately needed a new host family for the rest of the school year. Without anyone's intercession, Kip was going to be forced to leave Fort Myers High School and perhaps return home to South Korea if a suitable host family could not be found. I appealed to all the staff at Fort Myers High School, and Scott emailed me requesting that Kip stop by his room after school to introduce himself. The Guttery family took Kip in for the rest of the school year. The relationship between Kip and the Guttery family changed Kip's life. He made many friends assisting with the basketball team, going on mission trips, riding roller coasters at amusement parks, boating and fishing, a friendship that has endured these last 5 years, during which Kip has completed 3 years of college at Kennesaw State College. Kip Yoon is still welcome into the Guttery's home during the summer and holidays. I felt compelled to let others know that Scott is much more than a basketball coach. He is also an exceptional family man, dedicated to his profession, to his family, and to helping others.
Lynn Podorf.
Thank you for your support, and everyone in the district for their support. 12 years of Life Academy. Life Academy made a difference in the lives of 191 students. We watched them grow and flourish. I implore you to continue your support to helping our students to find safe and nurturing learning environments where they can continue to grow. The way this occurred was unconscionable and left 54 students and their families and 16 employees and their families, through no fault of their own, in an untenable situation. They were not able to participate in first round of school choice, visit schools, meet with counselors or advocates. Employees missed job fairs, and they met with hiring freezes. Our students are getting their third choices for schools. 19 have no school. Many of those, the majority of those, are considering dropping out, staying home, because they do not have any support for the path. We know that's not the right path for our students. I urge you, especially those that want to drop out, to help them stay in school and continue their educational path towards independence. On a personal note, thank you for all of the opportunities I have had as part of this educational family for 45 years. I was hoping for another 30 or 40, but it didn't turn out that way. Although this is not how I expected it would end, it will be okay as long as I have your commitment to help these students and their families find their way. Take care of my kids for me. Thank you.
Fred Richards.
I'm speaking on behalf of Goodwill Academies of Southwest Florida for the Life Academy and the agenda item related to the Life Academy's request for voluntary termination of our charter effective June 30th. During a public board meeting on May 22nd, the Life Academy Board of Directors made the difficult decision to request voluntary termination of our charter with an effective school closure date of June the 30th. This decision to voluntarily close the school related to the continued challenge by Goodwill Industries to subsidize and sustain the school on an annual basis. A lot of this had to do with the declining revenue in the retail sales. For many years, Goodwill Industries has subsidized the net loss related to the school on an annual basis. In recent years, this was as high as 20 to 30% for needed revenue. We stress how difficult this decision was because for the last 12 years, this school, as Lynn mentioned, has successfully graduated 52 students, and they served another 191. Those 52 students have gone on to training programs, and some of them have actually got jobs, and they've had great success in their transitioning process. I want to also mention this was the only school to receive a 15-year contract renewal, which is a testament to the quality that the principal, the teachers, and the paraprofessionals provided. I want to publicly thank Lynn Potter for her years of service. She made us all very proud in this community. In compliance with Florida statute, we conducted a public board meeting on May the 22nd. Within 24 hours of the public determination meeting, we notified the sponsors, the parents of the enrolled students, and the department in writing. We will continue to retain the relevant staff needed to ensure that all tasks related to inventory and records are completed in compliance with the statute. In closing, I just want to fully express our appreciation to Dr. McCullers, his colleagues, the district staff from the assignment office. They took a very, very difficult situation and made this as seamless as possible. So I want to express my appreciation to all, and particularly again to Lynn Potter for all of your years of service. Thank you so much for your time.
Lauren Trasick.
Hi, my name is Lauren Trasick, and I go to Fort Myers High School. I came tonight and asked to speak because I want to share how Coach Guttery impacts my life and many others at Fort Myers High. I will be a senior this upcoming school year. As a student at Fort Myers High School, I know Coach Guttery pretty well. Over this past year, I have been able to get to know the kind of person he is. He is a role model for a lot of kids at my school, including me. I first met Coach Guttery this past school year as a junior while playing on his bowling team for the school. He really brought the team together and uplifted everyone. Coach Guttery made practices competitive, but never in a way to purposely harm us or bring us down. During part of the bowling season, I had to wear a walking boot due to an ankle injury that occurred at one of my soccer practices. Coach Guttery wouldn't let me bowl even though I wanted to because he was concerned that I would worsen my injury. He always displayed an attitude that he wanted what was best for every single one of his students and players. When bowling season ended, I began going to the Fellowship of Christian Athletes. Coach Guttery volunteered his home to host all of the meetings. He made sure to make everyone feel welcome. I remember one meeting he talked about phones and social media. He talked about how it negatively affects our society, and that has stuck with me ever since. Coach Guttery stands out in my mind as one of the coaches and teachers that I know for sure genuinely cares for his players and students. I also believe that practically every student I know would be upset if Coach Guttery was no longer at Fort Myers High School. I hope hearing my experience with Coach Guttery helps give you some insight into his character and his love for the students at Fort Myers High School. Thank you for your time.
Jonathan Heck.
My name is Jonathan Heck, and I'm going into the 5th grade at Gateway Elementary. I love going to school in my community with all my friends from Gateway and Lehigh. Gateway is such an awesome community. We work together, play together, and help one another. At my school, we study the 7 habits, and I believe that if you choose Gateway, that is a win-win for the community, the students, and the Lee County School Board. Gateway does want the school and already has the students to fill the school. Plus, it's much cheaper for the taxpayers as well, as it will put less buses on the already congested roads. I hope that the school board and committee members see the immediate need for a high school in Gateway. Thank you for your time. Please vote for Gateway. Gateway High School is our future.
Speakers 11 through 15 are Randy Simmons, Sammy Alif, Mason Alif, Nathan Vitter, and Levi Vitter. Julian Heck.
Mr. Martin, make sure the mic is working, would you?
I'm sorry.
I don't think the mic was working for the last speaker.
Thank you. Could we turn on the microphone? Hold on just a second, Julian. We'll have a good microphone for you here soon. Go ahead and start. We'll see if it works. Go ahead.
Hi, my name is Julian Heck, and I'm going into the 3rd grade at Gateway Elementary. I love my school and my community. I am 8 years old, and before high school Triple M came up, I had never been to a school board meeting. I really like the way we're all using habit number 5, seek first to understand, and then to be understood, to choose the best site for the next high school. You choose the different committees to help you understand all the areas that need to be explored before making your final vote. You listened to public comments as well as looked at all the numbers. Thank you for letting me be a part of this and listening. This is my 4th meeting, and from what I hear and see, it makes sense to choose Gateway, not Alva. Please see that we need a high school in Gateway. Gateway High School is our future.
Randy Simmons.
Good evening. My name is Randy Simmons. I have been the senior minister at Gulf Coast Church of Christ here in Fort Myers for the last 33 years. All of that time, the Guttery family, including Scott, have been members at our church. So I've known Scott since he was 4 years old. I had 2 sons who played sports in the Lee County School District. I've known a lot of coaches. I officiated basketball for 7 years. I have been an announcer at Fort Myers High School the entire time that Scott has been there in the basketball program. I can honestly say I have never known any coach or any teacher I would rather have mentor my own children and my own grandchildren than Scott Guttery. He is a man of great integrity, loyalty, compassion for all of his players and all of his students. There is no one I would rather have coach my children or grandchildren than Scott. I'm somewhat concerned that someone today is considered guilty until proven innocent. And I'm going to cede the remainder of my time to read the last paragraph of Scott's opening statement. The way this has unfolded and been handled will set a precedent for further undermining the authority and value of coaches and teachers. And I can't sit idly by and condone that precedent. The teaching profession has become one of the most dangerous professions in the world. I urge the school board to look into and review the Human Resources Department and policies in place. Policy and procedure changes must take place to protect this county's educators. If not, I fear you will lose a good amount of qualified, dedicated, and selfless teachers. Thank you for your time, and may God bless the future decisions of this school board.
Sammy Leaf.
Hi, my name is Sammy Leaf. I have 2 brothers and a sister. My family lives in Gateway. I'm asking you to please choose Gateway so that we can go to high school with our neighborhood friends. Thank you.
Mason Alif.
My
Pull that out down, Mason. There you go.
My name is Mason Alif. My family lives in Gateway, and I go to Gateway Elementary. Please choose Gateway so that I can have the same community school experience when I go to high school. Thank you.
Nathan Vitter.
My name is Nathan Vitter and I live in Gateway. I love to play sports and be involved in activities at my school and in my community. I am hoping that you choose Gateway for the new high school. I would love to attend a full-size Lee County Public High School that has all of the sports and activities that other county high schools have. I would also like to be able to continue going to school with the friends and classmates I have been with for years. I am asking you to please choose Gateway. Thank you.
Speakers 16 through 20 are John Heck, Parmitar Naduru, Jesse Vitter, Nicole DePay, and Denise Eberly. Levi Vitter.
Hi, my name is Levi Vitter and I go to Gateway Elementary School. At school, we practice the 7 Habits of Happy Kids as a part of our leadership program. Today, I am practicing habit number 1, which is be proactive. Gateway and the surrounding areas have many students that could use this high school. I am asking you to please build a high school in Gateway so that my friends, my classmates, and I have somewhere near our homes to go to school when we are high schoolers. If you choose Gateway, we will be so grateful. Thank you.
John Heck.
Good evening. I'm John Heck. We've heard all the arguments for and against both Triple M sites, Gateway and Alva. So I don't really want to rehash all of that. I know you guys have heard everything that there is to hear 10 times over. So I just wanted to use my time to say thank you to Dr. Atkins, the board, the staff members, and all of the committee members. I know that a tremendous amount of work went into the selection of the school. We don't know what that's going to be yet. We're hopeful it's going to be Gateway, if you haven't figured that out by my tone so far. So again, just thank you very much.
Mr. Ninduro?
Good evening. My name is Pamatar Enduro, and after scrutinizing, analyzing, and putting a valid conclusion of the Coach Goddery matter, I am extremely sad, and I have empathy on his entire situation. And I have a son that he coached. It's his second year in high school in his basketball team. I have numerous contact with Coach Goddery, numerous conversation with his entire team. My experience is always at the aggregate level of right here. I even talked to him yesterday, coaching and motivating my son all the time. How about this? My son is a disabled child that made it into the basketball team. He lost 60% of his hearing on the right side and 70% of his hearing on the left side. So if you're going to have these extremely good coaches, have patience to coach a disabled child, I don't know what's next, really. And then I'm saying to you guys, my experience with Coach Goddery and his team has always been courteous, generous, professionalism, and beyond a call of duty. And this is the truth. Okay? I hustled to be here. I struggled to be here. And the amount of emotion in me right now, I couldn't even explain it. But the Lord is good enough to help me through it. Okay? I wish Coach Goddery good luck. I wish all of you good luck in your decision making. The crowd speaks for itself. Okay? We all need an opportunity cost, and we all make mistakes. And I think this is not a mistake. I think this is inside the court, playing the basketball, not outside the court.
Thank you, Mr. Enduro. Your time's up, sir.
Thank you.
Jesse Vitter?
Hi, my name is Jessie Vitter, and I'm here asking you to choose Gateway for the new high school. I think we've gone over everything, so I won't go everything again, but I just basically think it boils down to the fact that we've already experienced all the growth. We have the students there ready and waiting. I think it'll alleviate the pressure off of your other schools. The utilities are waiting, less busing for taxpayers, less time on buses or in any form of transportation for the students that they could be spending on homework or researching on a computer or going to a sport or something instead of traveling to Alva and back. As far as curriculum, I'm not sure when parents were supposed to start deciding the curriculum, because I feel that you guys as the Lee County School Board do just a wonderful, amazing job at it, and I'd like to stick to my job and let you to continue sticking to your job of choosing and planning the curriculums. So whatever you would put in place in that case would be fantastic for us. And basically, my reasons are my 3 sons, 2 which come and speak at every meeting, and my third which is too shy, and that's why it means so much that I come every time. Since I have a minute left over, I will say that I didn't know this was going to happen tonight. I'm a Fort Myers High School alumni. I sent my oldest son, Nathan, that just spoke a little bit ago, to the summer shootout this summer, just to be sure to support the program because I felt so strongly about it. And I don't personally know Scott, but I have a lot of friends that do, and I know the friends that are close with him's character enough to know that, you know, if they're close with him, it must be also. And so my son and his friends went there to support his program this summer. But basically, I'm here to ask you to choose Gateway for the new high school, and we're hoping for some good news tonight. Thank you very much for all your time you've given us at all the meetings. Thank you.
Ms. DePay?
Good evening. My name is Nicole Dupuy. I had the pleasure of working with Coach Guttery when I was the speech-language pathologist at Fort Myers High School. He was an integral part in the development of an annual unified basketball game, which included students from the exceptional student education programs at the school, including students from the life skills class, students with autism, and our deaf and hard of hearing students, and the basketball team. Coach Guttery diligently worked with all of the athletes participating in the game event to teach them the game of basketball and, most importantly, the importance of good sportsmanship. I can honestly say that these games have been the highlight of my 25-year career as a speech-language pathologist, moments I'll never forget. Neither will the students who participated in the game and those that watched the game. This endeavor goes to show the integrity and heart that Coach Guttery has for all of the students at Fort Myers High School. Thank you for your time.
Ms. Eberly?
Hello, I'm Denise Everly. I've been to many of these meetings. This is concerning the MMM site versus Gateway and Alva. And I live in Alva and I support Gateway. All the criteria, financially, everything favors Gateway. To not choose Gateway would make no sense. So I'm just hoping that you vote in common sense. That's it. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Those are all the cards, Ms. Fisher.
Thank you very much. Thank you to everyone who came and spoke, and to Lynn Podorf and Mr. Richardson. Thank you very much, and I'm sure we'll take care of the kids for sure. For all of the Gateway advocates, we appreciate you taking the time to come. I'm particularly impressed with the students who were using the 7 habits. I wish all of us would do that because it's very effective, and we thank you for your input. And for the teachers and staff and community members who came to speak, we understand the impact and the importance of our teachers. Our teachers and our other staff members are the heartbeat of our schools, and we definitely care and care about them and continue to support and appreciate them. And so I want to thank you again for taking the time to come and share your opinion. And now the next item on the agenda is the approval of action items in the agenda under consent. Board members, are there any agenda items you wish to pull for discussion under the unfinished business or tabled items portion of the agenda? Mrs. Morgan.
I have none.
Dr. Kuckel.
None.
Mrs. LaRiviere.
I have none.
Mr. Teuber.
I have none.
Ms. Patrica.
I have none.
Mrs. Giovanelli. And I have none. Is there a motion to approve the agenda's consent action items? Board members? Moved by
Second.
Mrs. LaRiviere and second by Dr. Kuckel. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries 7-0. Okay. Dr. Adkins, would you like to introduce any administrators in attendance with new assignments who were just approved in our consent agenda?
Yes, ma'am. We do have, I believe, one person in attendance this evening, Danielle Hadzini, who is moving to Calusa Elementary as an assistant principal. So if she's here,
Danielle?
Yeah, there you. Congratulations.
Thank you. I think we'll take about a 1-minute recess to allow people who wish to exit the auditorium the opportunity to do so. Thank you.
Coral High from teacher to assistant principal. Kristen Davy, Estero High from teacher to assistant principal. David Howdishell, Estero High School from teacher to assistant principal. Dwayne Alton, Infrastructure Services from Director, Information Technology Support to Executive Director, Infrastructure Services. There you go. Gene Sims, Southwest Florida Public Service Academy from teacher to coordinator. Kevin Calfee from Staffing and Talent Management Application Support Specialist to Coordinator Human Resources Information Systems. Marla Vest, Tortuga Preserve Elementary from teacher to assistant principal. I do have some, I believe, transfer and change of assignments, which I'll go over now. Jill Cook, Curriculum and Staff Development, Elementary Professional Development and Leadership Specialist to Bonita Springs Middle Center for the Arts Assistant Principal. This is Lori Houchin, Curriculum and Staff Development Coordinator to Curriculum Secondary Director, Secondary Middle. Christopher Lightfoot, Harns Marsh Middle, School Intervention Support Specialist to Bonita Springs Middle Center for the Arts Assistant Principal. Helen Martin, Human Resources Coordinator, Curriculum and Staff Development Center to Professional Development Assistant Director, Professional Development. And Lisa Murphy, Manatee Elementary Assistant Principal to Principal Trafalgar Elementary. That's all the recommendations that I have this evening. Thank you.
Wonderful. Congratulations to all of you. Okay, next we have Superintendent's recommendations. Dr. Atkins, will you state your first recommendation? Oh, do we want people to? All right, we'll take another 1-minute break. You guys have to go celebrate. Get out the popcorn. Okay, and now Superintendent's recommendations. Dr. Atkins?
I recommend board approval to terminate the charter contract with Goodwill Academies of Southwest Florida, Inc., Goodwill Life Institute for Education Academy, at the request of the school's governing body to relinquish the charter and dissolve the school pursuant to the terms of the contract, board policy, Florida statutes effective June 30, 2017. Approval authorizes the superintendent to execute related documents.
Board members, you've heard the superintendent's recommendation. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Toiber and seconded by Mrs. Giovanelli. Any discussion? Dr. Kuckel.
Well, I'd just like to reiterate what has already been said about the wonderful program at Life Academy and all the great things that were done with their students there, and a phenomenal principal in Lynn Podorf. It's just 16 years that our parents and students, and we've heard from our parents and students a lot, an indication of what a great program they had, and they're very nervous about transitioning to something else, as anybody else would be as too. So it's been a great run, and you've done a phenomenal job. Goodwill Industries has done a phenomenal job over that period of time. Put a lot of extra money in, I think close to $1 million for our students, and especially our special needs students. So we thank you. We're so sad it's closing down, but so grateful that we had it for that period of time.
Thank you, Dr. Kuckel. Any other comments? Mrs. LaRiviere.
I just have to reiterate, and again, Lynn, thank you for your contributions you've made to the district the entire time you were here with us, for the positive energy you brought with you wherever you went, even if it was out in the community teaching dance. Hence those beautiful legs of yours. You gotta smile about the good things. And thank you for all that you have done and brought forward, and wish you the very best. And for our families, we are looking forward to working with you and serving you and embracing you.
Thank you. Okay, Dr. Atkins.
Next recommendation, I recommend board approval of the agreement with Tri-County Apprenticeship.
Fish, I don't believe there was
Call for a vote.
vote on that motion.
Oh, my gosh. Okay. That's because you said I did a good job. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. 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 Motion carries 7-0. Thank you. Sorry, Dr. Atkins.
I recommend board approval of the agreement with Tri-County Apprenticeship Academy to initiate and continue the funding of the apprenticeship program for the 2017-18 school year at an estimated amount of $746,165.09. Approval authorizes the superintendent to execute any related documents.
Thank you. Board members, is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Toiber, second by Mrs. Giovanelli. Any discussion? Mr. Toiber.
I'll be supporting this motion because in typical school districts, you know, we have community colleges that handle the type of VOTEC requirements in a community, and we don't have that here. So the Lee County School District has tried to pick that up, and it's just a big undertaking. And this program, providing electricians, plumbers, fire sprinkler, HVAC, it's critical to our community. It's critical to our students because, you know, only 1 out of every 3 or 4 students attend college, and we have to have alternative paths, and these are great occupations, great opportunities for our children, in addition to the things that we offer in our VOTEC and our comprehensive high schools. So this is just one more opportunity and one more avenue for our students, and I'll certainly be supporting this, and they're doing a good job, so thank you.
Thank you. Any other discussion, board members? Okay, then all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries 7-0. Number D.
I recommend board approval of the renewal contracts for occupational therapy and physical therapy assistance effective July 5th, 2017 through June 30, 2018 at an estimated expenditure of $900,000. Approval authorizes the superintendent to execute all related documents.
Board members, is there a motion to approve?
So
Moved by Dr. Kuckel and supported by Mrs. LaRiviere. Any discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries 7-0. recommendation?
I recommend board approval to award the bid for office supplies for schools, departments, and district warehouse to Ace Office Supplies, DGS Educational Products, Friends Office, Marco Office Supply, Furniture and Printing, Inc., National Art and School Supplies, Pyramid School Products, Standard Stationery Supply Company.
Go back to E. Cheese, all about cheese.
Oh, sorry. My apologies.
He doesn't like cheese.
Back to E. Yeah, I didn't want to recommend the cheese. I recommend board approval to award the bid to USDA Commodity Processed Cheese to Land O'Lakes, Inc. for a period of June 27, 2017 through June 26, 2020 at an estimated expenditure for the first year of $700,000 with renewal options for 3 additional one-year periods upon the written agreement of vendors, and the district approval authorizes the superintendent to execute all related documents.
Thank you, Dr. Atkins. Board members, is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Toiber,
Second.
seconded by Mrs. Giovanelli. Any discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 7-0.
That's a lot of cheese.
Yeah.
Must be good cheese.
I recommend board approval to award the bid for office supplies for schools, departments, and district warehouse to Ace Office Supplies, DGS Educational Products, Friends Office, Marco Office Supply, Furniture and Printing, Inc., National Art and School Supplies, Pyramid School Products, Standard Stationery Supply Company, Staples Contract and Commercial, Inc., and Tampa Envelope JNNP Investments, Inc. for the period of June 27, 2017 through June 26, 2018 with renewal options for 2 additional one-year periods at an estimated expenditure for the first year of $1 million upon the written agreement of the vendors and the district. Approval authorizes the superintendent to execute all related documents.
Thank you. Is there a motion to approve, board members?
So move.
Moved by Dr. Cuckold,
Second?
seconded by Mrs. LaRiviere. Any discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries 7-0. Item G.
I recommend board approval of the estimated expenditure in the amount of $1,650,000 for the RFP for structured cabling and telephone installation and support for the period of July 26, 2017 through July 25, 2018, pursuant to the same terms and conditions as previously approved by the board. Approval authorizes the superintendent to execute all related documents.
Thank you, Dr. Atkins. Board members, is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Mrs. Patrica, seconded by Mr. Toiber. Any discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries 7-0.
Next recommendation, I recommend board approval of the Griffin Drive Gateway site for the next East Zone High School, MMM. Approval authorizes the superintendent to execute all necessary documents.
Board members, you've heard the superintendent's recommendation. Is there a motion to approve?
So move.
Moved by Dr. Cuckold
Second.
and seconded by Mrs. Giovanelli. Any discussion? Okay. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries 7-0. Gateway it is.
That seemed a little anticlimactical there. Next
motion.
recommendation, I recommend board approval to piggyback State of Florida contract for MRO Facilities Maintenance Supplies, NASPO Value Point, awarded to WW Granger, Inc. from July 1st, 2017 through December 31st, 2017 at an estimated expenditure of $600,000 with an option to cancel if deemed to be in the best interest of the district. Approval authorizes the superintendent to execute all documents.
Board members, you've heard the recommendation. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Moved by Mrs. LaRiviere,
Second.
seconded by Mrs. Giovanelli. Any discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 7-0. J.
Recommend board approval to award the ITN for the removal and installation of new non-coded UL-listed intelligent analog addressable fire alarm systems with multiplex signal transmission to All Digital Technology Integrated Fire and Security Solutions, Inc. and Semiplex Grinnell LP for the period of June 27, 2017 through June 26, 2020, with a renewal options for 3 additional one-year periods and an estimated expenditure of $1 million upon the written agreement of the vendors and the district. Approval authorizes the superintendent to execute all related documents.
Thank you, Dr. Atkins. Board members, is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Okay, moved by Mrs. Patrica and seconded by Mrs. LaRiviere. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 7-0. Next on the agenda is an attorney's recommendation. Mr. Martin.
Yes, Ms. Fisher, board members have one recommendation this evening, which is for the appointment of Mr. Charles Gudekunst as the citizen member representative of the Value Adjustment Board.
Thank you, Mr. Martin. Board members, is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Moved by Mrs. LaRiviere. Seconded by Mr. Teuber. Any discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion carries 7-0. Tonight we have some public hearing items, and I'll ask Dr. Atkins at this time to present your recommendations for this evening's public hearing items.
Okay, the first recommendation, I recommend board approval of the revision to policy 1.20, community involvement opportunities, to revise the minimum attendance required for an advisory committee member to maintain appointment. The effective date of this adoption shall be Wednesday, June 28, 2017. Next recommendation, I recommend board approval of the revision to policy 2.28, charter schools, to update the district policy to conform with recent changes in state statute regarding charter school application and operations. The effective date of this adoption shall be Wednesday, June 28, 2017. Last recommendation, I recommend board approval of the revision of policy 2.30, school wellness, to update the policy to conform to the recent changes the United States Department of Agriculture has made regarding regulations for districts participating in federally funded meal programs and the requirements school wellness policies must include. The effective date of this adoption shall be Wednesday, June 28, 2017.
Thank you, Dr. Atkins. We will now recess the regular school board meeting and open the public hearing. As indicated, the public hearing this evening is to consider approval of the revision of policy 1.20, community involvement opportunities, approval of the revision to policy 2.28, charter schools, and finally, approval of the revision to policy 2.30, school wellness. At this time, the public will be invited to speak on these 3 items. The time allowed for comment is 3 minutes. Is there anyone on the right side of the auditorium who wishes to speak? Anyone on the left side? Seeing none, I will close this public hearing and reconvene the regular school board meeting of June 27th, 2017. Dr. Atkins, please restate your recommendations for this evening's public hearing items.
Okay, first recommendation, I recommend board approval of the revision to policy 1.20, community involvement opportunities, to revise the minimum attendance required for an advisory committee member to maintain appointment. The effective date of this adoption shall be Wednesday, June 28, 2017.
Thank you, Dr. Atkins. Board members, is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Moved by Mrs. LaRiviere and seconded by Mrs. Patrica. Any discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 7-0.
Next recommendation, I recommend board approval of the revision of policy 2.28, charter schools, to update the district policy to conform with recent changes in state statute regarding charter school applications and operations. The effective date of this adoption shall be Wednesday, June 28, 2017.
Board members, is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Moved by Dr. Kuckel. Seconded by Mrs. LaRiviere. Any discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 7-0. Final recommendation, Dr. Atkins.
I recommend board approval of the revision to policy 2.30, school wellness, to update the policy to conform with recent changes the United States Department of Agriculture has made regarding regulations for districts participating in federally funded meal programs and the requirements school wellness policies must include. The effective date of this adoption shall be Wednesday, June 28, 2017.
Thank you very much. Is there a motion to approve, board members?
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Toiber, seconded by Mrs. Patrica. Any discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 7-0. Next on the agenda is board member comments. Mrs. Morgan.
I have none.
Dr. Kuckel.
I don't have any.
Mrs. LaRiviere.
Just one real brief comment to Jonathan, Julian, and Levi. As you spoke, you mentioned the 7 habits. Are you aware that there is habit number 8? Have you heard about that at your school yet? Do you know what it is? And help other people find theirs. I think you have found your voice. And I just want to thank you so much for all of you young men who came up to speak. And I know we've had some young ladies, but I do have to say that usually women have no problem finding their voice, but you gentlemen sure have found your voice, and please use it to your very best. I encourage you to strive to use that throughout the rest of your life and your studies at school.
Thank you, Mrs. LaRiviere. Mr. Toiber.
I have no comments.
Mrs. Patrica.
I have none.
Mrs. Giovanelli.
I just want to piggyback off that a little bit. You're not only the future of Gateway, you're the future of Lee County, and you're the future leaders of the United States. So just
That's right.
and go with that, boys. Thank you.
Thank you. And I have no comments. Mr. Martin.
None this evening, thank you.
Okay, and Dr. Atkins.
Just a couple real brief comments. First of all, I just do want to thank everybody for coming out and speaking this evening. I do want to just say to the folks at Fort Myers, I do appreciate the input that we have received. I have personally heard from some people whose opinion and thoughts I value quite a bit. I did have a conversation with the coach, Mr. Guttery, regarding his situation. After talking with Human Resources, I did make the decision. I felt reinstating him was the best thing to do at the time. I do want everybody to know that the final decision, whenever we make decisions regarding this, we take our time, we're careful, and I will tell you what I told Mr. Guttery. The decision that we hope to make, that I hope to make, will be the one that is the right and correct decision. And sometimes those are difficult. Many times they are, because there's many, you have to look at the situation in context and make the best decision that you can, and that's what we're committed to do. I do want to thank Lynn for your incredible service to the district. I've known you a long time, and you've been just a wonderful asset to this district and the children of Lee County, and your family truly has blazed one heck of a legacy. I just want to thank you so much for what you did for the many students that you served, and I will assure you we will find good homes for every single one of your kids. I always held her academy up as a shining example of what our charter school partners can do for children. So thank you so much. The last thing I just have to say is this morning we lost a family member, Rita Zazzaro, who was our payroll director. Rita came to us during a very difficult time. She followed Ron Frazier, who was a legend in Lee County, and that's always very difficult to follow a legend, but she did it extremely well. She came at a time where we were moving from our old legacy system to PeopleSoft. She took on that challenge. She ran that department and kept up with Ron's legacy of never missing a payroll, never missing a beat. And so she was a wonderful asset to our bargaining team, just a positive person to be around, and this was quite sudden for us. So that's there's folks that are still struggling with this, but I just want to thank her and her family for her service to this district, and God bless them, and may your prayers be with her family during this very, very difficult time. And that's all the comments I have this evening. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Atkins. On Tuesday, July 25th, there is a school board briefing meeting at 2 p.m., a special school board meeting for public hearing to adopt the fiscal year 18 tentative budget at 5:05 p.m., as well as a school board action meeting at 6 p.m. At this point, having no other business to come before this body, I will entertain one last motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Mrs. Patrica, seconded by Mr. Toiber. All in favor?
Aye.
This meeting is adjourned. Safe home, everyone. Thank you.